Is this a drill or something?
Greetings, Exalted Ones. My name is Dash. There have been some very compelling theories from yourselves, the community, about Supreme Leader Snoke and his identity. Now, obviously, I'm not going to discount the fact Andy Serkis himself has said it's an original character, put that business to bed. But I like to believe that there could be some validity and they may be holding off for a big reveal. So, without further ado, I'd like to show your theories, or showcase the top theories, and then do a little bit of the pros and cons of them, and if they actually pan out in the end, this is going to be amazing to feel like we're at the forefront of finding out who Supreme Leader Snoke actually is. The first is that people believe that Snoke is Darth Vader due to this picture. The scarring on their faces do align, which is pretty compelling. However, in terms of evidence, it's actually not that great, having the fact that we saw Darth Vader burn on the funeral pyre, which means that Luke Skywalker would have had to have removed his body and then kept everybody in the dark of the fact that Anakin Skywalker was still alive, though we did get a confirmation of his death by the fact that we saw his Force ghost in Return of the Jedi, which pretty much puts this theory to bed. The second theory is that Snoke is Darth Plagueis' Force ghost. Basically, by saying that Plagueis cheated death, Palpatine believed that, he could cheat death himself. But what if cheating death actually meant the fact that he could become a Force ghost or spirit like the Jedi did? And so he was communicating from the dead. And so what we saw wasn't a hologram, but a projection of himself to Kylo Ren. Again, the dark side hasn't been shown to be able to do this, and especially the fact that it's 25 foot tall and pretty much confirmed as a hologram, so I believe that we can put this theory to bed as well. The third is that Leia is Snoke. This totally blew me away. At the start, I thought this theory was absolutely crazy, though over time, I started to warm up to it. And there's some pieces of evidence which are really compelling. The first is that Carrie Fisher herself had pictures on Twitter that I was sent from fans, and it showed her in a dark robe, and she took it down immediately. And I didn't think much of it at the time, because Carrie Fisher does a lot of strange things on social media, but then when you put it together with this theory, obviously Disney would want to protect themselves and not have her show anything from Episode 8, especially a giant plot twist. The thing that sold it for me was there's a video of her face being superimposed on top of Plagueis's, and when you see it, it's kind of unnerving and uncanny and not really flattering for Carrie Fisher, but that's really crazy, and it got me thinking, what are the pros and cons of her actually being Plagueis if we took it seriously for a second? Now, the pros in her favor being she pushes Han away, secretly saying because of the pain of her son being seduced by Snoke. But if she was Snoke, wouldn't she want Han out of her business so that she could basically train her son Ben to Kylo Ren without anyone knowing? Now, she and Snoke share similar goals in Episode 7. They're both looking for Luke, and she could be playing both sides like Palpatine did in the prequels, trying to bait Luke out of hiding as he's the only real threat left to her. And she takes on Ben, aka Kylo Ren, as a secret apprentice, and the supporting evidence is this. Notice in the movie how she pushes Han to confront Kylo, with the line, "Bring our son back," whilst at the same time Snoke pushes Kylo to face Han. Never was there a mention of Leia as a final test of will for Kylo to join the dark side, or, nobody ever mentioned that. It was literally, go kill Han, getting him out of the way, but also solidifying him in the dark side to her, and then he would 100% be your apprentice. The cons are also many in this regard. If her face was somehow heavily disfigured when she was seduced to the dark side, it would take Sith magic to mask, just like Palpatine had in Revenge of the Sith. And one of the hardest things to explain is that Leia could turn to the dark side. Maybe she confronted Luke and lost in a fight, leaving her disfigured, though this would actually explain why Luke would leave as he was too shocked to face his own sister Leia, and the fact is Snoke, she had the Knights of Ren obliterate his academy in tandem, though this would actually explain further why Luke would leave. If you're fighting your own sister and you nearly kill her and mess up her face, and then she has her son kill all of your Jedi students, obviously you might leave the known galaxy. Although the biggest con that we haven't spoken about is the fact that Plagueis is clearly a man, and this factors in. He has a man's voice and he has a man's build, though again their faces do match up. Now the beauty of this video is it's just the start of the discussion. Our love of Star Wars surrounds and it binds us together, so let me know in the comments below, who do you think Supreme Leader is? An original character or something that we've outlined, or even just Plagueis himself? Because if you love Star Wars, I want to talk to you about it. It's as simple as that. If you want to stay up to date with the latest Star Wars videos on origins, games, and theories, don't forget to use those force powers of yours and hit subscribe. And hey, Leave a comment below about what you want to see in future videos. It may just get covered. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Always.